Coming up this week, off-screen.
Film stars appear reluctant to cop it in Liverpool.
Aubrey Plaza takes a Californian holiday.
Robert Pattinson has a good time.
Kenny Dalglish is Kenny.
The darker side of animal conservation comes to light in Trophy.
Garrett Hedlund is Mudbound.
And Kate Blanchett has a manifesto to share.
All this come and more off-screen.
This is Off-Screen. Off-Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off-Screen, the on-screen radio show.
Welcome to Off-Screen, I'm Vancouver.
I am Kase Allen.
Welcome back, Mr. Are you feeling better after last week, by the way?
Yes, I don't like the girl from The Exorcist this week, so that's a plus.
That's true. I didn't get to physically see you. I only saw Kase last week, so... But,
well, that would show you how ill I was.
Yes,
Couldn't even leave the house.
I think you were quarantined, I think is actually what
it was terrible.
But, welcome back nonetheless.
Hi.
It's been a fun week cinematically. And,
just in the news as well.
In the news, yes, totally. So before, more film news, before Box Office Top 5 reviews, kick us off. Give me some news. What you got for me? What is the big thing that's happening this week?
Lucasfilm don't have a problem with Rian Johnson.
That's excellent.
He's one of two directors they like.
It's weird, isn't it? He's one of the directors they're not going to sack.
Yeah. It's like, if you hear nothing about the director we're working with, it's going well.
That's kind of the case, isn't it?
It's kind of it, yeah. But it's apparently gone so well on The Last Jedi that he's got his own trilogy. Which is amazing.
That's talk about giving you the house, my God.
Yeah, so he's going to have, he'll be overseeing and developing and writing, I think he's directing the first one, of a brand new trilogy installments.
Do you think these will replace the episodes? Do you think that's what...
I think this is what it's going to be, yeah.
So after episode 9,
and we'll still get the saga films, or the stories, as they're being called.
The anthologies.
The anthologies.
We're still getting that Yoda movie, that Boba Fett movie, the Jabba the Hutt movie. It's totally happening.
Cantina Band, the movie, yeah.
That's what I want. I want the movie Rockstar with the Cantina Band.
I want like a live album of the Cantina Band. That's what I want.
This is Spinal Tap with the Cantina Band. And they're just like, look, we keep showing up and they make us play the same song over and over again. It's paying the bills, but it's driving me insane.
Yeah, I've got no artistic integrity whatsoever. I've got no creative control.
I spend all of our residuals on drink. My children won't speak to me, but at least I have this weird alien clarinet thing.
Yeah.
So,
but I sold on my alien kids for.
Every now and again, someone gets an arm hacked off. That's how it works.
That's just show business.
I feel like we need to make that movie. How is that not a YouTube-based film?
Come on, Kathy Kennedy.
You know, like Troopers was. Like, how's that not one?
There was a thing on Funny or Die where they were like auditioning existing musicians to join the Cantina Band. But Weird Al Yankovic was there, Ben Folds was there.
Good God.
It was really good.
I have to look that up.
It's worth checking out.
I will. Yeah, so Rian Johnson. So that says a lot to me about the quality of The Last Jedi, then. That says it must be good.
I am excited.
Those porgs must be amazing. That's all I can say.
Yeah, those weird gerbil penguin things.
Gerbil penguins? That's actually a good one. I'd not thought of that one. I saw the full-size toys recently.
So like a gerbil... flightless like a penguin.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Hey, well, you saw the full toy. I've not seen the full...
Oh.
I've seen pictures of
them.
I
want one so badly. I love the porgs. But I'm a sucker for small, cute, furry animals.
No, that's why you've got Lola as your pet.
Yeah, that's true.
Your dog.
That's why.
I understand. But I saw a picture of one of the toys, and its expression looked like it needed some medical assistance, like fast.
Have you seen the film posters that have been edited to have porgs in them? So it's like The Shining, the porgs.
I've not seen that, no.
Look those up. They're so good. They're like parody posters where they've just photoshopped existing popular movie posters to include porgs. The Shining one is my favourite. I actually forget the rest. But first review? Should we do the first review of the week?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, let's talk about Paul McGuigan's new movie. McGuigan? He did the Frankenstein with Victor Frankenstein, didn't he? Paul McGuigan.
Is it McGeegan?
McGuigan, McGillicuddy, tomato, let's call the whole thing off.
Our friend Paul.
Okay, Paul M. Okay, so Paul M's latest is Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, which is a true story, it's based on a true story, stars Jamie Bell and Annette Bening, and it's a story of Gloria Graham and her later years in which she began a relationship with a young, aspiring Liverpool-based actor, Peter Turner, who played here by Bell. And it's like a May to December kind of a romance tale. Did you ever see My Week with Marilyn?
Yeah, with Reddy Edmayne.
Yeah.
Cabaret was in that.
Cabaret. And
Michelle Williams?
Michelle Williams, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. It was really good.
Similar kind of thing here.
Yeah, the actual guy was on BBC Breakfast News a couple of days ago. I watched it. It was very interesting.
They are doing quite the press for this.
Yeah.
This was a big hit at LFF. It's gotten a lot of buzz. It's the story of their relationship, how they got together, the trials and tribulations they had in their years together. And here's a clip.
Hey, you're the next door guy, right?
Which makes you the girl next door.
Hey, have you seen the movie Saturday Night Fever?
Yeah, I've seen it. Actually, I saw it 3 times.
Oh, so you like disco dancing?
Oh, God. Well, I like drunk dancing.
Oh, so if I make you a drink and you come into my room and hustle with me, I need a partner for my dance class.
I mean, if you fix me a drink, I'll come in and clean your bathroom.
He's definitely got that sort of regional lilted charm, hasn't he, old Jamie Bell?
Yeah, it's pulling that off.
I like Jamie Bell.
I really do.
And he does turn up in films, and he's always quite charming when he's in them. But I never really particularly think of him as I don't think of him as being a great actor. I watched him in this. I came away and thought, actually, he's really terrific in this. He's really superb in this. So, though, is Annette Bening. I mean, she absolutely has the appeal and the star quality to genuinely make you believe she is Hollywood royalty. And Annette Bening is someone that goes away for long periods of time and then comes back with something quite impressive. And this is one of those cases. There's a great supporting cast in there as well. Vanessa Redgrave turns up, Julie Walters, Francis Barber, and my personal favourite, Stephen Graham turns up. Yeah.
I love Stephen
Graham. Stephen Graham turned up as Jamie Bell's, I think he's meant to be his older brother, but he's got this, because it's obviously set in the 70s and it goes through to the 80s as well. But he's got this sort of white guy's man perm kind of thing going on, and he looks weirdly like Dustin from Stranger Things, but all grown up, chubby and Liverpudlian. So yeah, but he manages to, he finds the fun and the sort of empathetic side at the same time. He does that quite well. But it is all about Jamie Bell. It is all about his relationship with Annette Bening, and they are genuinely terrific in it. I think it's co-written by McGeegan and Matt Greenhaig, and I came away from it thinking this is genuinely terrific. I would stick to selling it as it's the May-December answer to, you know, My Week with Marilyn. It is, though, a much, much better, much more successful film. In the way that film kind of just felt like an impersonation. With
it did quite well, especially like awards-wise. I think he got quite a few like nominations. Yeah. I'd like to see some actual gold hardware for Annette Bening instead of just nominations.
Well, you know what?
It's nominated like 5 times.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's possible on the back of this. I do. I didn't realise
it's going to be so tough.
I know, it's going to be very difficult, yeah.
I'm so excited to see Frances McDormand in 3 Billboards.
We shall see. I didn't realise as well, this is produced by Eon, the Bond label, so Everything or Nothing. And so Barbara Broccoli is actually a producer on this. This is one of their rare sojourns outside of...
Do you think that's why that Jamie Bell Bond rumour came about?
I think that's definitely why.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Because obviously he has ties with Barbara Broccoli because of this. And it's one of their rare ventures outside of Bond. So, you know, it does happen periodically. This is one of those instances. And I can see why you would get this project come across your desk and think, okay, I'm doing that. Because it has real charm and real charisma. And I think Kenneth Cranham has a really nice sort of sweet little role in it. I was charmed by it quite early on, and it held that charm for me all the way through. And also, you know, there's a really great moment in which there's a great thing about seeing Alien for the first time in it, because obviously it's a period piece. There is a moment in which they see Alien for the first time at the cinema, and Jamie Bell's response to it is just one of those great sort of historical movie gags, I think. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I am going to check it out.
You should. You'd absolutely love it. I think you'd fall for it the same way I did. You'd absolutely absolutely fall in love with this thing. Should we plug the podcasts and competitions for the week then?
Yeah, listen to it. It's great, and the competitions are also good. That's me plugging it.
That works for me. Okay, so Acast, iTunes, TuneIn, Deezer, pick your podcast platform of preference. Competitions.
Oh, he's gone for different alliterations.
I have. Onscreenfilm.com for the competitions. At the moment, there's copies of the Benedict Cumberbatch movie, The Child in Time.
Oh, was that the Beeb one?
The BBC movie with the missing, where his child goes missing, and I've not seen it yet.
I've not seen it. I heard it was pretty good.
I hear it.
I've not watched Gunpowder yet.
No,
I've missed Bonfire Night, which sucks.
Well, yeah, it's kind of ruined now. There's no point watching it.
Well, wait till next year.
Wait till next year. Until then, of course, go and enter some competitions.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back. So, Mr. Allen, are you ready for a good time?
No.
Worst segue ever.
No, that was terrible.
Well, you know what?
On the basis of that segue, no, I am not, sir.
Well, I can tell you with great enthusiasm, the film is far better than the segue I just made us.
Oh, is this the Rob Pattinson
Rob
thing?
Pattinson thing.
Yeah, apparently this is weird, and I really want to watch it.
It is weird. Allow me to tell you about it. So, it is written and directed by the Safdie brothers. Safdie? I can never remember.
Let's say Safdie.
Safdie. I think they're the Safdies. Okay. So...
Are they Connecticut Safdies?
I have no idea. So there's three of them. There's two of them. Sorry, there's Benny and there's Josh. Okay, and they've written this. They star in it. Well, Benny stars in it. Robert Pattinson is a sort of a street hustler type character. Connie Nikas. He has a learning disabled younger brother, played by Benny Safdie, and basically they have robbed a bank. They go on the run. They are separated. Nick is immediately arrested and put in Rikers Island, and Connie tries to basically swindle his release. What he does is he takes his girlfriend, for instance. He tries to use her mother's credit cards to pay the bail and get him out. He discovers that his brother has actually been hospitalised after an attack inside, and he decides he's going to actually break him out of the hospital where security is quite minimal. Without going to spoiler territory, only to then sort of embark on this sort of Trojan War style night of adventures. Do you see that Paul Walker movie where he was the guy who hid guns for the mob? And he went on this wacky...
What was that called?
Running Scared. You ever see that one?
Yeah.
Him and... yeah.
I remember that, actually, yeah.
Great movie. Never watch it whilst under the influence because it just plays as being deranged, which I did for the first time. And I've never lived that movie down. It doesn't hold up to a rewatch. He goes on this night of adventures. There is a series of colourful characters. There is a soundtrack to rival Stranger Things, and there is a career-defining performance by Robert Pattinson. Here's a clip to set that tone.
Percy, I gotta come clean with you about something.
What?
So I told you about my brother, yeah? I told you about the program he's forced to attend and how he shouldn't be there.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Do you understand that?
No. Something happened. I don't know exactly what. My brother's been arrested. He's being held at Rikers Island. He could get killed in there.
Sorry, we just have a client that walked in.
We good?
You get another 10 grand, your brother will get out.
That music, eh?
Yeah,
and it is
nice.
It is really something. It's and it is all like that. It's Daniel Lepartin, but he's doing it under the name of his band. And I'm trying to look up the name of the band. They are Oneatrix Point Never. They actually do a song, an actual theme song for the film as well, with Iggy Pop. And it's a really great track as well. I actually want to go and buy that when I get home. I'd kind of forgotten that. It's very stylish. It's very stylized. It is like nothing you can really compare it to. It's one of those great films where you can't really find a comparison point. I mean, I just had to go to an obscure 2006 Paul Walker thriller to find the only thing I can find that bears any real resemblance to it. And I promise you, no one has seen Running Scared. I'm pretty sure even the late Paul Walker never saw Running Scared. It is really impressive. It has genuine momentum. It goes random. It goes all over the shop, but it does it in a way that you never feel like it's a mess. It has, in a weird way, like the first half hour of Thor Ragnarok, where it just goes every which way but loose.
It does whatever it wants for a bit.
This has that. It's not a film built on big name casting. Arguably the biggest name in it after Pattinson is probably Jennifer Jason Leigh. Barkhad Abdi turns up in it as well and gets some surprising laughs.
He is the captain, after all.
He is the captain. But to be honest, I'd sort of written him off now. I thought it's been enough time now. I think Barkhad Abdi, that ship has kind of sailed, no pun intended.
He was in Blade Runner, wasn't he? Was he not?
He did have a very, very brief role, didn't he? He's the guy, he ran like a little kiosk or something, didn't he?
Yeah, Kay goes to...
Yeah, Kay seemed like a little, like a barred off
and I was
kiosk.
like, oh, look at that. Yeah, it's the captain.
Oh, look, it's a reminder of Barkhad Abdi in a role he presumably filmed 3 years ago. And, yeah... Those are the sort of the biggest casting bits in there, but you don't need them. Benny Safdie is genuinely great in this. And Robert Pattinson, okay, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I will apologise for every bad thing I have ever said about the male lead in Twilight. I will. He's genuinely brilliant here. And I've seen his efforts over the years outside of Twilight when he went and did... was it
Cosmopolis with...
Cosmopolis, the Cronenberg
one, yeah.
Also, was it Remember Me? Or the one we did...
the 9/11 one. That's terrible.
Yeah, that was awful.
That was really bad.
He has done some absolute stinkers.
Is he on... what's the other Cronenberg one? Maps to the Stars? Is he in that?
He does appear in that, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But I didn't think he was good in it, though.
Oh, did you think it was a good film?
I thought it was a decent movie, and I thought John Cusack was very good in it. But no, this is the Robert Pattinson role. This is the one we've been waiting for. Finally, Robert Pattinson has been made good. I am happy with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. He's genuinely brilliant.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
I'm sure. Rob, have a drink on me, mate. Honestly, you've earned it. You've earned it. I don't know how I'm going to give you the money for it, but we're good. We're good.
PayPal.
We're good. PayPal.
Send us your details. Yeah. Send us your details.
Yeah, find me over them digits. That email address.
Some sweet digits.
Yeah.
Are that.
We gonna make this happen.
Yeah, because frankly, he needs the money.
Clearly, yeah. I'm sure he's short of Bob.
Yeah. And I'm always seeing him with like a big scraggly beard. Needs a shave.
He does. I mean, look at him. He's a mess. He's always wearing scruffy clothes.
Needs a publicist.
Yeah. He does, totally, yeah. I mean, also, he's not starring in big films, is he? But anyway, so...
Oh, that went from being like something just bit of jibing to just like... It's quite a nasty
That's
dick.
The thing. He is doing a lot of those for me jobs, isn't he? Oh, actually.
Oh, like the one for them, one for me.
Rather than the one for me, one for them system, he does seem to be doing a lot for him.
One for me, more for me, all for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you chuck in the occasional Michael Bay movie, you've got John Malkovich there.
All for one and all for me.
Yes, exactly. Ooh, Tim Curry line.
What
Tim Curry line. All for me.
I just want to watch that film.
That's my favourite version of Three Musketeers.
It is my favourite version of Three
is.
Musketeers as well. It reminds me of being a 6-year-old boy at Christmas watching it.
Athos takes his drinking very seriously. This was a gift from the Queen of America.
Which one? Isn't that a kind of smelly cheese?
I love that movie so much. If you've never seen the 1993 version of The Three Musketeers with Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, and Oliver Platt as the Musketeers, do see it. It was a very misguided attempt to replicate the success of Prince of Thieves. However,
it really is, yeah.
I would argue, kind of works better.
I enjoy it more than Prince. It definitely holds up better.
It holds up better. Prince of Thieves is. I'm kind of sick of seeing Prince of Thieves now. But
it was on like every Sunday on Channel 5 for like a year.
It really was, wasn't it? Kind of like the song was in the charts every week, every Sunday for a year.
Yeah.
So
no wonder we don't want more Robin Hood films.
That's why we don't want more Bryan Adams as well.
Oh, poor Bryan Adams.
Okay, do you mind if I just jump straight to the next review? Is that all right?
Just pretend like I'm not here, whatever. Step right over my grave.
Okay, I want to discuss this film with you because it's a really interesting one. Okay.
Yeah, what is it?
So the film is Trophy.
I've not heard of it.
Right, this is a documentary about the relationship between animal conservation and big game hunting.
Right.
And there's more of a link than you would think. I didn't know this story. It revolves largely around John Hume and his somewhat radical attempt to both curtail hunting and to actually bolster conservation. Right. What they've actually done is, in certain parts of South Africa, they have big, wide open what's the term? Reserves, that's it. They have big, wide open reserves, lots of land, and what they do is they actually breed endangered animals. But they breed them under very specific conditions, whereby, for instance, the rhinos are every 2 years the rhinos are hunted down by the staff of the reserve, shot with a tranquilizer gun, and then have their horns very graphically sawn off with a literally off the rack in B&Q electric hacksaw. And we're then told by Hume, we do this because that rhino is of absolutely no temptation to a poacher, and I'm sure if you could ask the rhino would agree he'd rather have this happen every 2 years, and that's the time it takes for the horn to regrow, than be hunted down by a poacher and killed. And you think, okay, logically, I can see the academic argument.
That,
Where this then goes is a step further, whereby they are breeding these animals and they keep a certain number of them reserved for the purposes of for-hire big game hunters. So those American dentists, for instance, that always make the social media news, this is where they go. They go to the hunting conventions in Las Vegas, where anyone who's anyone in the conservation/hunting game goes, and they hire out their services, and they have a set tier of pricing, and the pricing is structured in such a way that it doesn't become a massive, draw. It doesn't become one of those big numbers games where you wind up with so many thousand tourists.
So this then basically unravels that morality argument.
This is where the morality argument comes in. As we are told, they will charge you $500,000 to hunt a lion, but they do it because they have bred 30 lions. And so that $500,000.
So why? How do you choose which one?
This is the argument. When you pay for the lion to hunt, you pick the specific animal. You pick
and is that a factor to how expensive it's going to be then?
No, I think it's a flat rate. I think
that's a bigger lion, so that's an extra $100,000.
It should work that way. I don't think it does. But it
shouldn't work at all.
I know,
it's barbaric.
But it is barbaric. But the argument is, if they weren't offering this service, those same customers would just go and hire a local poacher, and they would go and they would indiscriminately kill lions. So the argument is, for the fate of the other 29 lions, is it ethically right to serve one of them up?
Yeah, so needs of many kind of thing.
For a large enough amount of money that would actually sort of forego any real supply and demand element. Right, we've got a clip. This kind of gets laid out for you.
The Safari Club International Show is the largest hunting convention in the planet.
Crocodiles are really mean. Besides that, I want a pair of boobs.
Poachers will shoot every last one because there's a commercial-driven desire.
People are confused how hunting and conservation go together.
You can just pick whatever animal you want from the menu that they offer you, see the price, and book the kill.
Big cats in 21 and 22, sold!
And that money will all go back into conservation.
How much for that sucker? 35,000.
So they do make their argument very solidly in this. We're told, for instance, we're given statistics at different points throughout the film, and one of the statistics we are told is because of this practice, there are now more endangered predators, more predators who were formally declared endangered in South Africa than there were 100 years ago, because of people like John Hume. So you can argue on a results basis that they maybe are doing some good, but it is graphic, it is brutal at times. There's some stuff in here I wish I hadn't seen. And I came away from it thinking, good God, that's every pub debate for the next 3 years covered. And yeah, it's very much a discussion-worthy film. It is something if you have any interest in ever discussing animal conservation or big game hunting, either one, see this, and you will be very surprised at the link between the two. It's astounding to me. There were times I was genuinely just stunned by some of the things that came up in this movie. It was really something. It was a big hit at South by Southwest, apparently. But given the sort of ethical, sort of hipster dimension to it, you can kind of imagine.
You can see why.
It would absolutely be. Probably because Good Time would have gone down a storm at the same thing as well.
Yeah, and now let's all sober up and watch this.
So you've had a good time with Good Time. Now, here's the game hunting movie to sadden you all. And then afterwards, we can drink.
Now let's watch a new Pixar film. Now let's watch Coco.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So, shall we get Mudbound?
I think that we should.
Okay, so this is a Netflix movie.
It's a Netflix OG.
It's a Netflix OG, and yet it's going to cinemas. It's going into Curzon cinemas.
Yeah, so this doesn't happen very often. It doesn't happen in this country very often anyway.
I'm wondering if this is going to be a new thing.
I have film news about this as well. In fact, I'll drop in some very, very brief film news. So you know The Irishman?
Yeah.
Marty Scorsese's next film.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and all the lads.
And you know, the thespian that is Bobby Cannavale.
He is a thespian. Yeah.
He is a thespian.
I want that Mooch movie.
Yes, I know. Me too.
Yeah, apparently that is going to get a theatrical release, but it may just be like a day of, like one off.
This is going for at least a week. I mean, they could afford to do that, especially if they chain like Curzon.
And if they want awards recognition,
that's it. Yeah, it gets them qualification, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
but this is very much an Oscar baity sort of a film. So this is set in basically during World War II. It sort of takes place a little bit before and then a lot of it after. It's directed by Dee Rees, but it's actually written by Rees with Virgil Williams. And you've got an all-star cast in there. Jason Clarke, who's never seen a piece of Oscar bait he doesn't like. Carey Mulligan, who's never seen a piece of Oscar bait she didn't like.
What's Jason Clarke been in this Oscar baity?
Zero Dark 30.
I want to go about Oscar baity.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you take that on because it's Oscar baity. Okay, Garrett Hedlund, who has never met an Oscar baity film that would hire him, and
because he was doing his Indiana Jones impression
in Pan, yeah. And Jonathan Banks from Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Who's amazing.
Who's amazing. Yeah. He really is. And of course, Sir Jason Mitchell from Straight Outta Compton is in this. Right. So arguably, Mitchell and Hedlund are the two central characters, but it's it's a very slow burn film that doesn't really sort of get to that bit of the story, I think, for about 45 minutes. There's a lot of setup in there. And what you have is Jason Clarke, he's married to Carey Mulligan. He moves them to, they buy a farm, they move out there. It's not a life he's known before, it's just something he's always wanted to do. And she, having not known that he wanted to do this, because he'd never really told her, sort of finds it difficult to acclimatise to life on this farm. There's also something of a racial tension going on around the farm. There's a black family down the way who find themselves greeted by hostility by Jason Clarke's father, who's played by Jonathan Banks. And then Garrett Hedlund returns from war, as does the son of the black family, played by Jason Mitchell. And they strike up a sort of an unlikely friendship that does not really jive with the tensions of the region. We have a clip.
How long you been back from overseas?
Oh, just a couple of weeks. Much obliged, Miss Triple Banks. You give yourself a wonderful day.
Take care.
It's all right. It's just a car. It must have backfired. They say it stops eventually.
So the idea there is obviously they've both come back with differing forms of PTSD, or shell shock as it was back then, and it's something over which they bond, and it's actually quite touchingly dove into. I was really, really taken in by it. I do think it's a bit laboured. I think they have, for the sake of being quite Oscar baity, they have drawn it out. It's 2.25 hours long. And I'll be really honest, you could lose a half hour from this. And it would, even if it just took half an hour out of it, of dead silence, it would pick up the pace of it an awful lot. I don't think it's by any stretch of the imagination to its detriment that it is that length, though. I think it's one of those things that makes it feel more Oscar baity than it needs to. I think had you removed that, you still could have made the same argument, but you could also have made the argument that it was a bit more mainstream in terms of its pacing. Garrett Hedlund on fine form. It is nice to see that for a change, because God knows he needed it. I mean, there's so many turkeys to this guy's name of late. You look at things like Pan and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot that you kind of forget that he's in, or that he's been really good in, like On the Road.
Yeah, I was going to say, when he does those indie films like On the Road, he's great in them, and this is one of the great ones. Although, MVP trophy goes to Jason Mitchell.
Well, he's amazing.
He's so good in this. And, I mean, bear in mind, every time I see the guy, I just think, hey, easy. But, and that just kind of shows you how good he was in Straight Outta Compton. But he's so good here. He's really got such... And they take his character into different terrain that you wouldn't quite expect, and he really does rise to the challenge, and he gives it absolutely everything, and he hits every mark. Jonathan Banks does bring something surprisingly impressive to the somewhat stock I'm the elderly racist guy kind of a role, only without the sort of charm that cheerfulness I've just put in it without meaning to. But Jason Clarke, I think, is a little bit underserved. He's a bit thankless in there. Same really for Carey Mulligan, who's kind of going with us, I hate to say it, a stock Carey Mulligan role.
What is their relation to Garrett Hedlund again?
Garrett Hedlund is the younger brother of Jason Clarke, who owns the farm. When Garrett Hedlund comes back from war, he just goes and lives with them.
Right.
The farm is there. I think it becomes the family home.
Yeah.
But I say, once they bring in the more racially charged elements of it, the story does peak up ever so slightly in terms of pacing. But I don't know, I did quite like the more laboured PTSD stuff. I kind of wish they had cut out a lot of the dead silence.
How was Mary J. Blige?
Until you told me, I didn't even know it was Mary J. Blige.
So you were like, she's great. Oh, she's
great. Don't know who she is. Yeah. Who is this very talented actress? Oh, it's the woman behind One, or the cover of One.
No, Bono.
Yeah, Bono. He's a very lovely woman, a very rich woman. But I really enjoyed it. I think if you can see it on a big screen, do. It is something worth seeing. Although, if you've got Netflix, you've got no excuse. You have to see it.
If you are a person with some form of income,
if you need a break from Punisher, this weekend. You can,
because that's the big superhero release, isn't it?
That's the big superhero. That's the superhero thing.
Nothing else is out on the 17th of November.
No other important superhero thing is happening this week, except for the Punisher, which is huge.
We're actually not trying to dissuade you. Like, we want to talk about other things that are coming out that day.
We do.
We can't.
We've not been allowed to.
Yeah, so, not deemed worthy.
We're not
enough.
We're not worthy. Yeah, but not in a cool Wayne way. So, box office top 5.
yeah, let's do that.
Number 5.
I love that music. It's it's that guy music.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. I feel like if I'm ever in a room and I can't find someone, I want them to reveal themselves with that. We both liked Jigsaw, didn't we?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah,
it was everything I needed it to be.
Well, that's it. I wasn't expecting anything to reinvent the genre. I thought I just want a Saw revival that lives up to sort of the fun of the Saw sequels.
Yeah, have some twists, reference past films.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
I'm good with that. I'm absolutely good with that. And for me, it delivered. It absolutely did. So, did our tweeter of the week agree with us?
Yeah, at Mel's. It says, go see #Jigsaw movie if you haven't already. It's brilliant. And then a love heart.
Number 4.
Bad Mum's Christmas.
I thought it sucked.
So did I. I've not seen it. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to like it.
Well, I mean, doing that, it's comparative sucking, because I did think the first one was surprisingly funny, and I did enjoy it, and I didn't laugh once in this. I sort of had a few moments, but I didn't laugh. And yeah, I became one of those people who you have conversation with who go, "That's so funny," but they don't actually laugh. Yeah, that's how I felt in this movie. Like, that's a joke.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I can see where the mirth is made.
I can detect your mirth. Yes.
Yeah. I sense the mirth on you.
Yes, I absolutely felt like that.
However, I have forgotten how to laugh.
Pretty much. I think by the end of this film, I'd forgotten to laugh too. Was that tweet I have to say on the middle?
At Jake Fruit, #Bad Mum's Christmas is the whole. This is a person who's had a lobotomy.
Okay,
we should just preface this. Is the holiday movie we need and deserve right now, like Batman. I cackled until I almost peed myself, because we can't use that word that this Jake has said. What an absolute potty mouth on this Jake character.
I know.
Give me a sequel with Baranski, Sarandon and Hines right now. 3 exclamation marks and an excessive use of exclamation marks.
Number 3.
Have you seen the Jack Black thing on Instagram? About this? Well,
no.
About that song. Because that song, famously, is used in School of Rock.
Yeah.
So
it is, isn't it? Yes, it is.
So on Instagram, he essentially challenges Taika Waititi and Chris Hemsworth about this and was like, we did it first, and like challenges them to like a lip sync off, essentially. Yeah. It's really good. You should check it out.
I'm just going to put it out there. I mean, I will, but I'm just going to put it out there as well. I think I'd rather see Thor Ragnarok again before I ever see School of Rock again.
School of Rock's a great film.
School of Rock's pretty good. It ain't no Thor Ragnarok, though.
Cello, you got a bass.
And I say that given that I have now seen Thor Ragnarok a whopping 4 times.
Have you actually?
I have. Not intentionally. It's just
You just fell into the cinema.
I keep hanging out with friends near cinemas, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing now? Let's go see Thor." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
It's a pretty good way to spend 2 hours. I've only seen it one time. I need to see it again.
I loved it, and I saw it on. Actually, John Colson and Kelly and I went for breakfast on Saturday morning, and then we were across in the cinema anyway. We thought, "Hey, let's go see Thor Ragnarok," because he hadn't seen it, and I had promised him I would see it with him.
Yeah.
And so we did, and it was a lot of fun, and revels were shared.
And there were rebels. Yes, rebels.
Yeah, revels. But I was a big fan of it. It holds up to repeat viewings. It really does. And
I want to see it again.
Yeah, it is so much fun, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah.
It has that so much fun.
There's been so many memorable moments in it for me, but I feel like I've not needed to see it again.
Pat on the back.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah. So
on Twitter.
At Chris Keane says, they've added someone on their tweet.
Okay.
This is a first.
Okay.
So this at Chris Keane has said, at Laughing Trendy, some kind of Twitter profile, I assume.
Okay.
I loved Thor Ragnarok. Easily the best in the franchise and easily the best film I've seen in the last 20 years. Bold claim.
Very bold. This is someone who hasn't seen Snowpiercer.
Well, it wasn't in a cinema, was it? How's he going to see it?
Exactly.
Seen it 3 times and planning a 4th. So he's trying to catch up with her then.
Fair play.
Number 2.
Murder on the Orient Express.
I have not seen it.
Have you not?
Nope.
Neither have I, actually.
Neither have I.
Oh.
Well, you know,
I was going to watch it, but, life makes other plans.
Well, the screening was subject to filmmaker approval.
And Kenneth Branagh twirled his moustache and said, no.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those things. I don't have I'm not giving up my personal time and money to go and see.
You know who killed whoever?
It was Derek Jacobi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Is that actually because I generally don't know?
No, it's not.
You say that every time. I would not trust Jacobi anyway.
You would never trust Jacobi in anything.
Simon Callow. I would trust Simon Callow. I would not trust.
You trust Simon Callow?
I'd trust Simon Callow with my life.
So you're holding your baby, and the pram accidentally rolls down the street. Who do you give the baby to while you run and get the pram? If the only person there is Derek Jacobi, would you let Derek Jacobi hold the baby? You're really considering this, I can tell.
No, I would check that Callow's not having a heart attack, a la 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah.
Get him in there. He'd catch a baby. Probably recite some Shakespeare whilst he's doing it.
Has anyone on Twitter seen this film? I have to imagine they have.
At Simon Callow.
Good God. I'm not in this movie. It sucks.
Hashtag Fesp Life. At Cody Rivera. Good name.
That is good.
Cody Rivera. Love that. Just saw Murder on the Orient Express. Didn't care for it. Too much Gilderoy Lockhart with a moustache.
Number 1.
Paddington 2.
I loved Paddington 2.
Generally one of the best films I've seen this year.
You've seen it?
Of course.
Excellent.
We saw it on opening day.
Oh, fantastic.
There's no way we were not going to watch it.
I love that even deathly ill, you still made the effort to go and see Paddington. That's phenomenal.
I went and I had some Jaffa cakes as well, because it's the only orangey thing.
Yeah,
you
marmalade technically. So yeah. I had marmalade sandwiches on the way into Paddington 2
nice,
as well.
Yeah.
Actually cut in the shape of the number 2.
I can't stop saying marmalade the way that Brendan Gleeson says it.
Yeah, how does he do it again?
Marmalade.
I love him in that movie. He's so good.
Incredible.
It's so much fun though, and it's fun on a level that, so obviously, I don't have kids, and even if I weren't going to a pressure, I would have gone on my own and seen this.
Yeah,
and I would have felt completely in the right doing it, and coming out, I would have thought, yes, I had a good time, and it's so charming and so lovely,
and hilarious,
and I've got to ask, did you find yourself welling up a bit at the end?
Of course I did.
I did as well. I'm like, oh my God, please don't break.
Yeah, there are some moments right at the end where it's and you know where it's going.
Oh yeah,
you know
beat for beat, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And Hugh Grant is such a brilliantly mincing villain, and
such good casting.
Phoenix Buchanan,
and
I just love how Ben Whishaw, who is so perfectly cast, says the name Mr. Buchanan.
Yeah.
But oh God,
that was going to be Colin Firth at one
I know.
time.
I'm so glad it isn't. I'm glad.
I think by his own admission as well. That is good.
Did you love all the Grand Budapest visual nods?
I did. I don't know if they were straight for Grand Budapest, but
it felt it though, didn't it?
It did feel very much like it.
I had to imagine it was intentional.
It's for pastel colours, and it's just the symmetrical view of everything, and pretty much everything in the prison just had me laughing.
I loved Sir Geoffrey Wilcott. I hope I can count on your voice. No vote.
It's all little like in jokes as well. There was someone reading a newspaper in the prison, and the newspaper is called The Hard Times.
I love it. That's amazing.
Just, it's the little details like that.
I know. It's like it's an almost Aardman level of detail, isn't it? Which I really love. So, you got a tweet for us?
Yeah. At Sarah Wood says, I would highly recommend #Paddington 2, bear emoji, very, very funny, and definitely an adult film for grown-ups. I have an issue with that tweet.
Yeah.
With the grammar of it and some of the wording, but she also likes Paddington 2, so you're okay with me, Sarah? You're right with me.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back for what Vin Diesel will call one last ride. So,
one last trilogy of films.
For family.
I got friends.
Yeah, I got friends. I got family.
I got a multi-million-dollar film franchise.
Exactly. So you want to give me a last piece of film news for our radio listeners?
Yeah. So Tom Cruise might be in a Quentin Tarantino film.
Oh, good God. So The Mummy must have really hit him up hard then.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine it was a knock to his box office credibility.
I don't know. He's been known to work with auteurs and stuff. He worked with Paul Thomas Anderson.
He used to be really daring, didn't he?
It does happen. It's not happened for a long time, and it'd be amazing if it does happen. I could definitely see that.
Around the millennium, Tom Cruise was very daring with like who he would and wouldn't work with.
Yeah.
But,
next film with Cameron Crowe.
Yeah. It's the last few years he's gotten quite formulaic, I think. But
yeah, I think it's more just he's still just clinging on to him as a name.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's also whoever Xenu tells him to work with. But
you got to listen to that Xenu.
Oh, what's that? You're a first-time filmmaker. What's your thetan level? Eh? Yeah, that's how it works.
Scientology, everyone. Yeah. Scientology.
They keep accosting me outside Oxford Circus.
Tom Cruise and his cronies.
Scientologists outside Oxford Circus on a Monday morning. I don't mean they're like singling me out or anything. Yeah. I don't think there's like a whatever the Scientologist version of a fatwa is or anything like that. I just mean they just happen to have like
you've been watching Curb, haven't you?
I have. Yeah. I just mean there happens to be like two Scientologists with like pamphlets hanging around outside Oxford Circus.
Have they just been like beating the hands with a pamphlet? And one of them's got a coin, and one's got a flick knife.
Exactly. That's totally how it works.
So the Quentin Tarantino film, which everyone thought was about Charles Manson. Yeah, about Charles Manson and the Manson family murders.
Yeah.
It's not directly.
It's not, okay.
About, like, he's going to be in it, but he said it's about 1969.
Okay, so it's the culture around.
It's going to be the culture around it, and he's just going to be a part. He's not like the focus.
So it's kind of like, was it Summer of Sam?
Yes,
kind of like how that did.
God, I forget about that film.
I know.
That's a
Johnny
great
Legs, yo.
Johnny Legs, Adrian Brody.
I know.
Yeah.
God, what a movie.
It's a Spike Lee joint.
It is.
Yeah.
Doesn't Tarantino have something similar? Like a term like that for his films.
Does he?
I'm not sure. I'm sure he did.
He just says like the 6th film by Quentin Tarantino.
Something like that, yeah.
The 8th film, yeah.
Unfilmed. Yeah.
Yeah. But also the news for this thing is we don't know who's going to be releasing it. Because
it is up in the air, yeah.
It's up in the air. So it's either Warner Brothers, Sony, or Paramount. Ain't going to be no Weinsteins.
Yeah, but I know a big part of why he's up in the air about it is because he had a very hard time with Hateful Eight because he tried to take on Star Wars.
That is a good point, yeah. Well, I forgot about that. Yeah.
He got very annoyed, if you remember, in the press about Star Wars having the 70mm screens.
Yes.
And tried to, because apparently he had deals in place and Star Wars came along and their deals were really ironclad and he got very annoyed about it and tried to take on Star Wars.
I remember not watching, I was sent a screener for it. I did not watch it in the cinema. I wish I did because I think that's a really stunning film. Really, like,
Hateful Eight.
Visually stunning, yeah.
Yeah, well.
And just story-wise, I do really like it. I enjoy it.
I never got to see it in 70mm and I kind of wish I had.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I do look forward to this.
I might make the effort with this one to go and see it in 70mm.
Well, it might have Margot Robbie, it might have Brad Pitt, it might have Leonardo DiCaprio.
I know.
It might have Jennifer Lawrence. This, I can't wait for that announcement with just everyone there.
Yeah, I could go with that. Month of Manson. Total title. There, Month of Manson.
He's not going to call it
that. Okay, never mind.
You just want a Summer of Sam title.
I do. I want title. Okay, let me talk then about our final review for our radio listeners. If you want more, by the way, go on the podcast edition. We've got Kenny and Manifesto to discuss on the podcast. But for radio listeners, we're going to end with Ingrid Goes West, starring Ms. Aubrey Plaza, who I think we all know that I'm a fan of. You're a fan as well, I believe.
I really am.
Okay, so this film opens with Ingrid, played by Aubrey Plaza, a mentally unstable young woman, flicking through Instagram in tears on her phone, looking at clearly a girl she knows getting married. Literally live pictures from her wedding on Instagram as they're happening. The next thing we know, she turns up at the wedding, screams obscenities at her for not being invited, and throws things at her in her wedding dress and ruins the wedding.
Things.
Yeah. She's then hospitalised. Sometime later, she is released. Her mother, her only friend, has actually died. She's on her own for the first time. She's got an inheritance from her mum. And it soon transpires that what she actually does is she has a habit, a repetition, a cycle of fixating on someone on Instagram and then inserting herself into their lives and using them as her obsession. Sort of like a 90s schlocky adult thriller. But
yeah, this is kind of like The Fan.
Yeah, kind of like that. A little bit like that. A little bit like Pacific Heights, that kind of thing.
We love a 90s schlocky thriller.
I know, I do. She then discovers a sort of an Instagram celebrity played by Elizabeth Olsen, and she again inserts herself into a life, but this time has to move to the other side of the country, hence goes west, inserts herself into a life, invents a whole backstory for herself, and basically becomes part of this hip, cool Insta family, as it were. Mingling with models and going to art gallery exhibits. But of course, this is all built on a lie on Ingrid's part. But the question quickly becomes, is it any less of a lie than the lives these people are actually living anyway?
Do you know whenever you use Insta as a prefix for any word, I feel 10 years older.
Yeah, you should, because I felt about 50 years older watching this. In the meanwhile, you have Ingrid's landlord, played by O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is an aspiring screenwriter who wants to write the next Batman movie.
Ice Cubelet.
Ice Droplet, yeah. Who she basically enlists as her fake boyfriend. We have a clip.
A couple ground rules, okay?
Okay.
I need you to tell everyone that you're my boyfriend. It's a long story, but I just need you to say that
I get
to
it.
everyone.
I see that you dig me. I dig you. I'll be your boyfriend.
Okay.
I'll be your boy.
Okay, whatever. And also, no Batman talk.
What am I supposed to talk about? I don't know these people.
Something cool, like food or clothes or Joan Didion.
Okay.
Talk about comic books or anything. These people don't care about stuff like that.
Anything else, Your Majesty?
Yes, whatever you do, just stay away from Nicky.
Who's Nicky?
Nicky is Taylor's brother, and he's a liar and a drug addict, and he's just not to be trusted, okay?
Oh, God, what's up?
Hey!
Who's that?
So, of course, the devious brother that she's talking about is Billy Magnuson, who is sort of an egocentric con artist of sorts. He's very quickly suspicious of her, and you can kind of see where that's going to go, to be honest. This is a really impressive effort. It's incredibly satirical. Really, really satirical. It is as if the mandate was, let's do the 90s adult stalker thriller for millennials, but let's double down on the satire. And let's really go after social media, specifically Instagram, and let's go after the things that naturally brings with it. And it does a fantastic job of sending it up. There's a line at one point, if you've got no one to share these things with, what is the point of life? And it's a really profound message at the heart of this, and it really works, and it works in large part because Aubrey Plaza is so good in it. It's the perfect vehicle for the Aubrey Plaza routine. The character that Aubrey Plaza always plays, that kind of monotone, kind of baseline performance. But when applied to someone who actually has serious stability issues, it really works, and it's really something. I would love to see the serious R-rated exploitation picture version of this. Again, with Aubrey Plaza, I kind of found myself hoping at one point, I hope this just gets to the stage where she starts offing people, and it becomes that kind of film. It doesn't. It's not a S. Craig Zahler movie, sadly.
Yeah, or it'll be like Spring Breakers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If S. Craig Zahler had done this, or Harmony Korine, this would have involved a lot of murders in the final act. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Wyatt Russell, I quite liked him in there as well.
Wyatt Russell's in this.
Wyatt Russell's in there.
Russell.
Yeah, Wyatt Russell I really liked. I really liked Elizabeth Olsen. It had real charm. I think it's a film that works for its actual subject, works for millennials. But I think if you're slightly older, because I'd say we're on the upper end of millennials, I would say.
Oh, speak for yourself. I feel older. I am younger. I feel older.
I know realistically we're millennials, but we are in the upper echelon of it. And it works for us, and I think it would work for someone slightly older as well. And I've spoken to other older critics who have seen it, and some of them have actually loved it. Some have hated it with a fiery passion, but to them I say poo to you with knobs on, sir.
Yeah, I mean, some people like Coldplay.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah.
Can't trust people.
Yeah, well, people like Coldplay and voted for Hitler. You can't trust people. Can't trust people, Jeremy. Right. So, film of the week. I am absolutely, hands down, unequivocally giving it to Ingrid Goes West. Although I want to put it out there, Trophy is something you absolutely must see. Mudbound is very good, and Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool is totally worth your time.
So basically, all good films.
Yeah, everything.
All good films.
Yeah, everything we've reviewed in the radio edit this week is good.
Yeah, Podcast Extras
not so good.
Not so good. No.
So let's see what have we got next week. Let's flip over the page here. Next week
we have got Lost in Paris.
We've got Lost in Paris. You've got the list. Give us something.
Right. We've got Battle of the Sexes.
You're looking forward to that, aren't you?
I really am.
Of course you are.
Steve Carell, Emma Stone.
Yeah, and Sarah Silverman.
Is she in that?
She's in that. She is Emma Stone's manager in the film.
Interesting.
Billie Jean King's manager.
And
your lady Ms. Riseborough.
I do. Oh man,
she's
that film.
The love interest. She's Billie Jean King's love interest. Yes, she is. There you go.
I do want to talk about it now. Anyway, Daddy's Home the Second.
With Sir Mel of the Gibsons.
Melanie Gibson and John Lithgow.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that. More John Cena is never a bad thing.
That's it. Yeah, apparently he's going to be in the film a lot more.
Yeah.
A film called Beach Rats.
Beach Rats, which is it's a gay coming of age story. Oh. It's Peccadillo Pictures' latest release. It does look really interesting.
Cool. Starve Crow,
which seems to be like a social. I've not watched the trailer. It seems to be like a social media thriller.
Ooh.
Kind of a thing. It looks like that. It is.
Those are all the rage.
It's called #StarveCrow in some places.
Well, I'm going to go with that now.
That's fair.
The Star was the animated film.
Animated nativity with animals.
Looking forward to that.
Totes.
Definitely seeing it.
I'm in.
Totes, mate.
Yep.
Jane.
It's a documentary about Jane Goodall. Sigourney Weavers need not apply.
And finally, Suburbicon with Matty Damon's, with the Oscar Isaacs, with the Julianne Moore's, directed by the George Clooney's.
Directed by the George Clooney's, yes. Yeah. So it's the Coen Brothers movie that's not directed by the Coen Brothers.
Was written, or at least co-written.
It was half of the writing. Of the 4 writers, half of them are Coens.
But it's very Coen-y.
It is very Coen-y.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk more about it next week because there is a whole discussion on the writing of that film to be had. So we've got all those to come and more next week off screen. Don't forget, in the meanwhile, you can win copies of The Child in Time on onscreenfilm.com in the competition section. Check out the podcast edition for more fun and games, more news, more reviews, more Nicolas Cage. And, that's it from us in the meanwhile. So, this has been a Kenny Stopper for On Screen. I've been Bangkok.
I've been Ingrid Going West.
And we'll be back.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Off Screen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
So Joe Carnahan, I really like.
I like Joe Carnahan as well. Why, he's not been accused of some sort of sexual misconduct, has he? Because
no. Do you know what my favourite thing I've seen this week on the internet is?
On the internet? No,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's 2 things that are quite similar. Because obviously all that nastiness has been coming out and it sucks and it's horrible. So there was a thing about Tom Hanks that I saw. And it's had several women come forward to accuse Tom Hanks of being nice.
Yes, I saw that.
And there was another saying, a woman says that Keanu Reeves has taken her out on a nice date.
I absolutely believe that. Yeah. I think I like to think that Keanu Reeves is too tragic a figure to ever do anything bad. So
he's lived a life, hasn't he?
He has. Yeah.
But he's also been blessed with being Keanu Reeves.
And you got to be John Wick. I mean, you don't look down on that.
It's good bass player as well.
There's a meme taken from an episode of The Daily Show this past week with Trevor Noah in which he said, "I've reached the stage where every time I see a celebrity's name on Twitter, my immediate first thought is, please be dead, please be dead."
Yeah, he's not wrong.
He's not at all. I'm fast reaching that stage now where every time I hear a celebrity's name, I'm like, please let them have died, because I don't want to have to live with knowing that. I don't know, Bruce Campbell is a child molester or something like that. But
there was one day I was on, I forget which website I was on, but it had a story about Jeremy Piven. and then underneath it was a story about Jeffrey Tambor, and then underneath it there was someone else, and then it's not just film stars as well. It's like there's musicians. It's the guy from Brand New is being accused of stuff. And, yeah. It's mad.
The Jeremy Piven one, because I hadn't caught the Jeremy Piven accusations, all right, and then Jeremy Piven's name turned up on Twitter, and I was like, please be dead, please be dead, please be dead. Open the link. I was in the room with a friend of mine at the time, and I opened the link. I'm like, oh, it's okay. His new TV show just sucks. That's all the article is.
Yeah.
12 hours later, the accusations came out. But, although that new TV show really is terrible.
What is that? Is he still doing Mr. Selfridge?
No, that finished.
Is that finished?
That's reached its conclusion.
That was pretty popular, wasn't it?
It was. It's huge in this country. It's not quite caught on Downton level in the US, but it's pretty popular with the same kind of crowd.
Same crowd.
His new show is called Wisdom of the Crowd. And what's
the premise?
Right, he plays a Steve Jobs type character who has like pioneered internet crowdsourcing, and then his daughter is murdered, and a man is wrongfully imprisoned. So he invents a new platform called Sophie that actually
named after his daughter.
No.
Is it an acronym?
It's an acronym for something, I forget what. And basically, he and Natalie Tenner run this new platform, Sophie.
Natalie Tenner, not Natalie Fiver.
Not Natalie Fiver.
Yeah.
And basically, they outsource crime solving. They crowdsource crime solving. It's deranged. It is the dumbest thing I have seen in years. It's CSI Cyber bad.
So Jeremy Piven invents own police.
Basically, yeah. He invents Kickstarter police. That's basically it. That's basically it.
I want to watch at least one episode.
I binged them. Yeah. I watched 7 of these in 2 days. I couldn't stop. I'm like, this is terrible, but I need to see where it goes.
This is what happens when you just don't have a regular 9 to 5. You need that to save yourself from watching this utter gumph.
Well, this is the thing. Because during the week I work from home, I have the TV on in the background all day long. And most of the time I just have like Now TV on because it keeps Lola distracted kind of thing. But yeah, every now and again I think like, okay, well, I'm going to get an email in like 40 minutes. I've got nothing to do for them. So I'll just stick like a half-hour thing on. But that kind of thing does come in handy. But it's so awful I just can't look away. It's kind of like the Inhumans. But that's just the completist in me.
We started Inhumans.
Oh, good God. You poor bugger.
We got 14 minutes into it, which I feel like that's better than I could have hoped. I started to watch it first.
Yeah.
I watched it earlier in the day, and then when my housemate and my wife came back home, I was like, "So you've both got to watch this."
This is awful.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a terribly animated massive dog in there. I can't watch it. My Lola goes nuts at the terribly animated massive dog.
Did we even get to Lockjaw? I can't remember if we even saw Lockjaw or not. God. Apparently Lockjaw as a character is the only thing that really works.
Well, he's got his own comic series now. So
based on the popularity of this.
Yeah, go figure. But, we just really went on a tangent about
How did we go from Joe Carnahan to this?
Yes, what's Joe Carnahan doing? What's Joe Carnahan doing? Yeah.
He has got another film because Men in Black 3.
Men in Black 3? I want to see Joe Carnahan's version of Men in Black 3.
No, it's...
good God.
It's another of the Will Smith franchises. Bad Boys 3. He dropped out of that, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Which sucks, because I feel like if anyone was going to do it, he would have been a really great choice.
Aren't they doing a TV spin-off now?
Yeah, and it's going to...
I want to say it's going to be Bad Girls, although that title's already been taken for a TV series.
It's Gabrielle Union, she's in the second one?
Yes, she is Sydney...
Is she Martin Lawrence's sister?
Sydney Burnett, yeah, she's Martin Lawrence's sister.
Yeah, and she has
Will Smith's. Yeah, slash Will Smith's love interest. Yeah, although they did that in the first movie, it never went anywhere. So what the odds that she's still around? But
maybe, yeah. But she was supposed to be in the spin-off TV show. But yeah, he dropped out of the film, Bad Boys 3, and he's got another film that's going to have Frank Grillo. Yeah, which is pretty nice because he's literally just done a film with Frank Grillo.
Well, he and Frank Grillo have a company together now.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, they've got a film called Wheelman, which is on Netflix now.
That's one of them. Yeah, they've got like a development thing for minority films, and I think Wheelman is one of the first ones.
Ah,
but
that's pretty cool. Might have to check out, see if they've got more things. Maybe this is coming out on the same one. But this film is called Boss Level.
Yeah,
it's got Frank Grillo.
It's a good title.
Yeah,
that's a good title.
Wait to hear who else is in it.
Okay, go on.
And Mel Gibson.
Oh, I mean,
that's a pretty good duo. I like that. Yeah, but it looks like it's a bit of a Groundhog Day kind of a situation. I'm down for that.
Well, Boss Level denotes a sort of video game sensibility, doesn't it? And
it does, yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
That's essentially what it's going to be. Gibson's going to be like the mentor / villain kind of guy.
I like it. Apparently we're getting a Rampage trailer, by the way, any day now.
It will make sense. We had some pictures the other day, so we've got that to look forward to. I think that's going to be all right.
Yeah.
I loved San Andreas.
I know, me too.
Kind of ironically, and also kind of not ironically as well.
Who we're going to call? Everybody.
What do we do now? We rebuild.
I really just want the sequel to be like, Dwayne Johnson building a brick wall. I kind of just want that.
Just at his house.
Just like at his house, he's rebuilding his house, and then it's aftershocks kind of just knock it down a couple times, and that's the narrative tension in the story.
Yeah.
Can he rebuild this wall before the aftershocks take it down again? But
can he rebuild it? Yes, he can.
Exactly, Dwayne the Builder.
What else have we got? Sam Mendes was supposed to be doing the Disney live-action Pinocchio. He's now not doing the Disney live-action Pinocchio.
Is he not?
No. Again, that's a shame. I feel like that could have been a pretty good meeting.
His films have the right level of wonder, I think, that would have made Pinocchio work.
Yeah. It's strange. Had I not seen Pan, I would say someone like Joe Wright. Joe Wright would be amazing to do Pinocchio. That would be great.
But you've seen Pan.
I've seen Pan.
That's true.
I know all about...
Can I just apologise again?
What was that kid's name?
Levi Miller.
No, the...
Nibsy. Nibsy?
Nibsy.
Can I just apologise again, by the way, for when I sent you to that screening? Because I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you did. That was you.
The PR people got in touch with me, and I was away at screenings, and I sent you and Kase, and I'm so sorry.
Well, that's 2 hours I'm never going to get back.
If it helps, Calvin went to the actual press junket for it.
Oh, that's
so he got it even worse. So,
it doesn't really say anything else about what he's going to be doing.
There's a rumour, though, isn't it, that his timing lines
James and Giant Peach, wasn't he?
He is, but there's a rumour floating around that his departure in Pinocchio and the timing of Bond weirdly line up.
I don't want that.
I don't
want that.
I'm not interested in seeing a third one. I don't want another Spectre.
Skyfall, great.
Yeah, do Skyfall again, sure.
Oh, man. That was amazing. But I don't think you're going to get that if you just have Sam Mendes back.
It's not going to happen, is it?
I think you've got 3 other filmmakers on that list that would be incredible.
Yeah. Well, Denis Villeneuve's ruled himself out now.
Yeah, he said he has taken meetings about it. Dune is definitely next.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if he takes it on in the future.
Yeah, well, he said, I would happily do Bond one day, but I don't think it's going to happen right now because I really want to do Dune.
Yeah.
And I think he's earned it after Blade Runner.
Do you know what? Have him reboot it when Daniel Craig wants to leave after this one.
He'd be a terrific reboot guy, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that was the conversation.
He could do for Bond what Nolan did for Batman.
Absolutely. Yeah,
he could absolutely pull that off. If anyone could pull that off, I would have absolute faith in Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
So.
As do I.
So shall I do the first podcast review this week?
Oh yeah, we've got to review films as well. I forgot that we did that.
Yeah, we don't just, chat.
I've been off for a week, haven't I?
You're out of practice. It's fine. It's been an age. Okay, let's talk then, first and foremost, about Kenny. Which is not a South Park biopic, as much as I wanted it to be.
Shame.
It is not. It is a documentary, in fact, about the life and career of Kenny Dalglish, the football player turned manager of Liverpool FC. If I get any football facts wrong, by the way, can I just point out in advance, like a little disclaimer, I am not a football guy. I am an NFL guy. I'm an ice hockey guy.
I thought you were going to ask me to correct them because you are barking at the wrong tree.
I know. I'm not a football guy. I was once upon a time, and I had it beaten out of me by 5 male flatmates and 52 straight hours of Sky Sports News Pro Evo, and I forget what else at the time.
Sounds like quite the 3-day weekend.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But no, so Kenny Dalglish, this is his story. It is all about the life and times he enjoyed in service to Liverpool FC. We have a clip.
Straight away you could tell this fella is something special.
He's a king. The first impression, no, I didn't like Kenny. He just took the mick out of me.
We had loads of ammunition, didn't we?
There was a lot going on that no one knew about, and he wouldn't tell anyone.
The news is very bad from Brussels.
You've no idea that people have been killed?
No.
He never dealt with absorbing any of that.
They asked if I'd like to become manager.
Kenny, if you don't know him, can be a very awkward guy. I mean, he's a very private person and he's only got time for his family and people that he really knows.
Yes, private people who don't really like talking about themselves obviously make the perfect documentary subjects, as you can imagine. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I wasn't bored by it, but I did sit through the entirety because this is about 86 minutes long. I came away from it thinking, I've not learned an awful lot that I didn't know about the guy in passing anyway. And the problematic thing here is because the fact it's Liverpool FC, obviously Hillsborough has to come into this at a point, and you do feel like the film is basically counting down to the point that happens. And the problem is that once you get to Hillsborough, you kind of want that to be the film. You want the Hillsborough documentary, and that's not this documentary, that's another one. I think it's 89, I think it is. And you come away from it all thinking, actually, he's not that interesting a subject in and of himself. He's really not. And yes, it's a nice story and everything to, being told about the efforts he made, supporting the victims of Hillsborough, I think he attended something like 70-something funerals. Okay. And he went above and beyond in the things that the club did under his tenure to support. Yes, that is an interesting story, sure. The problem is the film isn't that story, the film is the story of Kenny. And frankly, there's not enough story there to tell. They actually really gloss over the part of him being a player first. I mean, it's pretty much just a cursory mention at the beginning. So yeah, he was a player. And then one day, they offered me manager. And I took it.
And I was like, yes, please.
It's that level of storytelling. And then they offered me manager. And I said, yeah. And then I was manager. And I went in on the first day. And I had the office down the hall. And I did some manager stuff. And it's that level of documentary storytelling. And it's a far cry from something like Senna, for instance, which is, I think we all know in this last decade is the definitive sports documentary. This just feels like a sort of made for between the adverts on Sky Sports News.
Right.
Kind of, they put this on between matches to fill the airwaves. Yeah. It feels like one of those. If you are, a fanatical Liverpool supporter, then I'm sure you're going to love it. But outside of that, it's never going to happen.
I'm not interested.
You're not going to get anything out of this.
But then again, it sounds like it is. It's quite light on the things I would be interested in for that kind of thing.
Showing you a documentary about Kenny Dalglish is probably about as effective as the storied history of the creation of coat hangers for you. But
yeah, I'd watch that. I'd be all over that.
You'd watch the Ken Burns version of that, wouldn't you?
I've seen so many episodes of how it's made. I can tell you how a slinky is made right now. Fruit polos, I'm your man.
We lead rock star lives, don't we?
We do. It's great. No, I think for me, if that documentary was about him, like just him and how he reacted to Hillsborough.
That's an interesting story in and of itself. This presents itself as a biopic, drops that in as a little bit, sort of the third act kind of thing. And really, yeah, I'm with you on that. That would have been an infinitely more interesting documentary. And, I suppose the inherent difficulty of doing that is that requires kind of a lot more work than, just talk to his friends and family and get them to say nice things about him.
Yeah,
but
that would make sense.
Also, it doesn't help that he's a regularly straight-laced kind of a guy. He didn't really have any altercations, violent stuff in his past or anything like that. So the story is kind of just, so there was this nice guy, and he was a nice guy, and he kept being a nice guy, and he's still a nice guy now. You could
now probably be a nice guy.
Yeah, he's off being nice. He's a nice guy. Could call it Mr. Nice Guy without the Jackie Chan connotations. So, Jackie Chan did Mr. Nice Guy, didn't he? Was that Jackie Chan?
Yeah, and there was a film called Mr. Nice as well, which is the Howard Marks?
Yeah, the Howard Marks Reese Ifans, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay. Over to you anyway now, sir.
Cool. Obviously I was not here last week, but you've told me that you have spoken about Christopher Plummer replacing Kevin Spacey.
Yes, we have.
All the money in the world. We know now that film is the reshoots are going to cost all the money in the world.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah,
I heard this. Yeah.
It's going to cost $2.5 million.
Well, okay.
For those reshoots. It's 2 weeks worth of reshoots. They're not doing, they're doing very minimal like green screen work. It's going to be all sets.
Well, this is the thing. They kind of have to because they're holding the release date. And the release date's like mid-December, isn't it?
It's very admirable what we're doing because apparently there's really great work that's in there. just, it's been hampered by one person.
Just going to play devil's advocate for a second and point out that actually, in the trailer...
All right, Pacino.
God likes to watch. He's an absentee landlord.
I want to watch that film.
Look, but don't touch, but don't taste, but don't enjoy.
It took my ovaries, Kevin. That's the only bit I really remember about Charlize Theron in that film.
I don't lose. I win. I'm a lawyer. That's my job. That's what I do. I love The Devil's Advocate so much.
It's great.
It's such a good movie, isn't it?
Well, no. It is not.
No. It is terrible, but it's so much fun at being... It's so much fun at being terrible.
Yeah, it is.
I had a point.
You had a point.
That was it.
You were going to play devil's advocate about.
I was going to play devil's advocate and just point out that ordinarily I do like to present both sides of an argument on this one, but in this case, I actually think it's a good thing. Even if he hadn't had the scandal that he has, you should have replaced Kevin Spacey anyway, because the makeup effects on him in that trailer are awful. And I watched that trailer and I thought, that is going to take me out of that film. I can tell you now.
Absolutely.
Every time he appears in that film, I'm immediately going to think, look, there's Kevin Spacey in some silly makeup.
And they make such a point of it in that trailer as well.
Yeah. Because of the big reveal, isn't there, in the trailer?
And then he walks back towards the camera at right at the end of the trailer. Whereas Christopher Plummer
kind of looks...
He's age appropriate.
Yeah.
And not just that, Van. The kid playing his grandson is his grandson.
No, they're not related.
Are they not related?
They're not related. No, this is a thing.
You are kidding me.
No, they had to point this out. It's just a coincidence they're named Plummer.
I thought they were related.
No, they're not.
Well, I feel like a word I can't say.
You can. This is podcast extras. You can say it. It's fine.
Are you ready? Because I'm going to swear.
Go for it.
I feel like a dick.
That's fine.
But anyway,
peek behind the curtain there.
This is how it's made.
This is how it's made.
Do you know there's an FX miniseries called Trust, which is about the same thing?
Yeah, I did hear about that. That's recent, isn't it? It's not come out yet, maybe?
It's coming out, I think it's like January or something like that.
I knew it's timed around the same kind of time as this film, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crackers though. Danny Boyle is the runner.
That's the one, yeah.
And Donald Sutherland is playing John Paul Getty.
Oh wow, they're really getting in the character actors for this one. Huh?
Yeah, do it. Why not?
Yeah. So, can I review the last podcast edition review?
I guess so.
Okay. I'm just going to warn you straight off the bat. This movie is terrible. So let me just pull up my handy reference guide here on IMDb, and so we're going to talk about Manifesto, which stars Cate Blanchett and 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 Cate Blanchett.
Carte blanche.
Mm-hmm. They have literally got carte blanche on Cate Blanchett. Cate Blanchett is officially credited as playing Various, because what this film actually is an art installation. This was an art installation, and they've now made a feature film spin-off of it. It is screening this coming Wednesday from the NT, live from the NT, with a Q&A, and then it's actually being released wide 10 days later. So in one sense, we're reviewing it early, in another sense, we're actually timed just right. The idea is, it is about manifestos. Cate Blanchett plays a series of different characters, and all she does is basically give orate manifestos to the audience, straight to camera or to characters within a scene. It varies. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to give you a clip and see if you'll be able to tell from this clip instantly whether or not you're going to enjoy this film purely from the tone. Here you go.
Reason does not create. In creating shapes, it is subordinate to the subconscious. The subconscious, that magnificent well of images perceived by the mind, harbors the notion that makes up man's nature. The subconscious shapes, composes, and transforms the individual.
What the hell is this? For crying out loud, somebody throw a pie!
Full disclosure that the Peter Griffin thing we added that afterwards. That was just what I was thinking all the way through that. It is... Wow, I can't sugarcoat it. I'm sorry, I don't pretend to be an arts critic. I'm a film guy. No, I'm sorry, this is awful. It really is. It never seemed to end either. I mean, it's only 95 minutes long. They are the longest 95 minutes this side of the Mila Jovovich vampire movie Ultraviolet. It is truly...
I need to watch that soon.
Oh, is it on? How does this get made?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even do it. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I considered it, and I'm like, no. I made a promise to myself. That and Synecdoche, New York, I will never watch again. And
we've been over this
We've
before.
been over that.
We don't need to cover more. more time.
I will watch House of the Dead 2 before I ever watch Ultraviolet again.
Wow, that bad?
Yeah.
Really?
I will watch...
You not even just find the fun in it?
No, I will watch Christian Slater and Tara Reid in the movie adaptation of Alone in the Dark before I ever watch Ultraviolet again.
That's words.
And although that movie did have a really sort of goofy, fun sex scene set to the tune of 7 Seconds by Nene Cherry and Yasuda Noor. But
Yasuda Noor, yes.
I know.
What's his name?
Yeah. Love that guy's voice. Anyway, so this is just... The only audience I can possibly think of are people who have been to the exhibition anyway. In which case, you genuinely have to ask exactly why in the hell a movie spin-off of that would be of any value, since apparently this is all material that's in the art show anyway. It seems to have no function of existence, no real purpose for being, other than, well, at least now there's permanent documentation of it. It's just... There's a lot of people that apparently have difficulty telling the difference between Cate Blanchett and Tilda Swinton.
Why?
I don't quite get it myself. To those people, I would offer up this film. That's actually a use I can find for it. I would offer up this film because actually I think Tilda Swinton is just bonkers enough that she might have been able to pull it off. Cate Blanchett is she's trying, bless her, but the problem is the film isn't any good. The material isn't any good. It is basically being talked at for 95 minutes, exactly how I'm doing to you right now, incidentally. And it's so unenjoyable. Like I imagine you find this right now.
I'm in my happy place right now.
I know. Are you doing the Helena Bonham Carter in the Penguin Cave?
I am.
Slide. It's just...
God, I've seen that for a while.
That was a really obscure reference, actually, wasn't it?
I got it. I picked up on it.
I love that you pick these references up.
Somebody's got to.
I just came away from it thinking, I feel like my life has gained nothing from that and has lost 95 minutes. So I'm operating at a loss more than anything else. I have gained nothing other than the knowledge that this exists. I was just dulled by it. I actually felt like I was being battered into some sort of coma-based submission by, it's a writer-director Julian Rosefeld, I believe, and no, I'm sorry, Julian, please make an actual film. Don't just hire an actress and have a talk at the camera in other people's words that have no real intrinsic value outside of anyone's mind except yours. I'm sorry, no, this is a waste of time. I'd rather take a power drill to my temple than ever remember that this exists, let alone see it again. In fact, do you know what? I'll watch Ultraviolet again before this.
Should do it. Let's meet up. I want to watch it. I want to watch it again.
I'm not offering to watch Ultraviolet. No. I never want to.
We never watch films together anymore. we used to do Netflix.
Hey, we double billed Piranha and Piranha. We did, yeah. Piranha 3D and Piranha 3 Double D recently.
We did, yeah.
About 6 weeks ago, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
I remember we were in hysterics at the scene where Jerry O'Connell gets his genitals bitten off. And
it's a great scene.
It's a great scene. and the discovery that Paul Shear from How Did This Get Made is in that movie. And we had somehow forgotten that. And then he turns up in the sequel as well.
Yes, he does.
Which is so random.
I'd forgotten that Adam Scott was in the first, is an actual character in the first one.
Oh, by the way, are you watching Ghosted yet?
Oh no, I've not started.
No,
not
so
started.
good.
Is it?
Yeah,
a little swings about it.
A little ropey at first.
Oh, but it
has found its way as a sort of a Ghostbusters-y, Men in Black-y kind of a series. It works.
I will have to give it a go then, because I obviously like them both very much.
Oh, I mean, Adam Scott is the steals the show every time. I'm not going to deny that I'm not completely in love with Amber Stevens, but I have been since what was it called, Greek. Years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Short-lived, I don't know, one for 4 seasons, didn't it? Never really got a thing in the UK.
Was that the college-y?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now.
College
yeah.
Summer from Rick and Morty, the chick who provides her voice, is one of the stars of it.
Yeah,
I forgot. What is Summer's surname in Rick and Morty? Morty, Jerry,
this is good radio.
Beth. I can't remember the family's surname in Rick and Morty. I can't. I know Rick is Rick Sanchez. I have no idea what on earth Morty's surname is.
What's the dad called again?
Jerry. No, not a clue. Not a clue.
I feel like you've just said something and my brain is powering down.
Right, so it's Jerry's married to Beth.
Yeah.
Their kids are Summer and Morty. I don't know their surname. That is going to bug the hell out of me. Okay. Oh, can I chuck a bit of film news in while you look
You
that
can whilst I'm doing this.
Okay, while you look that up, I'm going to chuck a bit of film news in because we didn't get to cover this last week.
You're gonna kick yourself, and then I'm gonna kick myself, and then I'm gonna kick you, and then you can try to kick me.
We're going to have a kick-off on. Okay, what is it?
Yeah, Smith. Yeah, of course it is. Like
we forgot Smith. You and I forgot Smith.
It's not a common name.
No.
In our defence.
No, of the Connecticut Smiths.
Yes. Of the Will Smiths.
Of the Will Smiths, yeah. Well, that's the Philadelphia Smith.
That's the Philadelphia Smiths. Yeah.
Born and raised.
Completely.
Yeah, born and raised. It came out last week, and Colson and I didn't get to talk about this.
What now? Who's done what?
Guy Ritchie.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he's... Are
you being genuine, or that's just the first name you thought of?
Guy Ritchie has diddled a tiger. And by that, I mean Guy Ritchie has removed the tiger from the live-action adaptation of Aladdin.
Right.
Okay? I don't mean he has sexually interfered with the tiger.
Calm down, lawyers.
So, this live-action adaptation of Aladdin that's going forth now, that's in production now, won't feature, Raja.
Yes,
the loyal
Jasmine's tiger.
Jasmine's loyal tiger companion. Gone from the film, and apparently gone because nobody had noticed at any point that in the original animated version of Aladdin, Jasmine is the only female character.
Oh, right, so is this why the lady from SNL, whose name escapes me, is it?
Yes. She is...
What's her name?
I don't remember her name.
Pedrad?
I think so.
I'm not sure how you pronounce her name.
She's going to play a handmaiden, her best friend, because it adds an extra female character. So that character has been inserted.
And she's going to be called Rajette.
Rajette, I'm sure. Yeah, totally Rajette. She does have a name, I forget. But the only thing is, this raises a serious question because at no point in anywhere in the development of this film has the fate or the status of either Iago or Abu been mentioned.
Yeah, you cannot have Aladdin
without Abu.
Without Abu,
I know.
You cannot have Jafar
without Iago. I know. Like. I feel like
don't make me worried about this because I was on board.
I feel like Gilbert Gottfried needs to be back as Iago. Like the role he was born to play.
It really is, yeah.
Or
it's a part I was born to play, baby.
Or let's just go and get Tim Curry and have done with it. Tim Curry, voice of Iago. Interesting, because Jafar was so clearly based on Tim Curry anyway.
I do find it weird that he was not approached about, or maybe he was. And,
well, that's the thing. He was a no-name at the time.
Did he ever voice a Disney character, Tim Curry?
I don't think
Is this an obvious... Like Smith, are we just blanking on something?
Well, the thing is, around the same time as that,
because he's in Ferngully.
Yeah, I was say he's. Oh my god, what's the villain in Ferngully?
The oil,
smoke,
Toxic Love.
Yeah, another one.
Toxic Love.
I used to have a real crush on the fairy chick.
Yeah, as did I. Actually, you were not alone.
Well, it's Samantha Mathis, and Samantha Mathis has always been so hot in reality.
You said Mavis.
Mathis, yeah.
I always heard Mathis.
Mathis.
Oh, I've said Mathis.
I've always heard it as Mathis.
But it's one of those, like, I've never known, like, which one it is.
But, good animated movie, that. And it did have...
amazing.
Yeah, and it did have Robin Williams as
Batty.
As Batty.
Yeah, my name is Batty. My
logic is erratic.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, God, I love that movie. My sister had it on all the time when she was a kid.
Yeah, I would watch it a lot as well.
Which didn't help with my crush on... I don't even remember the fairy's name. But
I feel like we've gone into one of our famous tangents.
Okay. Do you want to give it over to Nick?
I mean, I've got more news, but we can go to Nick.
Well, we okay, that's fair. Give me some more news, then.
I don't mind.
Go on, what we got?
Batfleck is looking for a graceful segue out of the DC EU, apparently.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've got a way you can do it. Right. You just have it that Batman has covered up for a friend's attempted rapes. And then has to be sort of swept aside by the rest of the Justice League.
Topical. And that friend is Harvey Weinstein.
Well, no, that friend is just like Commissioner Gordon.
I thought that's what you get now.
We have it so that, like, Commissioner Gordon is accused of sexual misconduct. Batman's been covering up for him all these years.
Oh,
he's
not
never
Joe
said
Simmons.
anything. And what's the thing? J.K. Simmons can let himself go at this point, put on some weight, and just act like a knob to people. And,
he doesn't have to be in the gym.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's totally what it is. And then Affleck just sort of steps aside and gives it over to a new Batman because he needs to take time away and seek counselling and fix himself.
Yeah.
Totally.
He's seeking treatment. Yeah. And what was the other one?
He seeks treatment. That's totally it.
Reflection.
Reflection. That's always the one. Yeah.
Evaluation. That was the one from last week, wasn't it?
Oh,
he's seeking treatment and evaluation. Should we talk about the Lord of the Rings TV series?
Yeah. Actually, because I don't know the full story, and you do. So
I mean, I've heard about it, but I'm only just now really reading into it. So.
All I knew was Amazon were pursuing a Lord of the Rings TV series. That's all I knew.
Yeah. Well, now that is true, and now it's gone to a full series order.
Okay. Is it one series as a full series, or they where they commission multiple series at once? And...
I imagine it's going to be multiple series.
The amount of money you'd have to spend on it.
If you're going to do it big.
It would be like commissioning a single season of Game of Thrones. You're going to put that much money into something, you kind of want it for the long haul. And do we know what it's about? Is it just going to be the same story again, but adapted for longer form?
I don't know, because there's other areas that have not been looked at all.
I don't know. I figure like the Hobbit trilogy kind of covered pretty much everything there was, every stone there was to overturn.
The Silmarillion?
Silmarillion?
Yeah, because I know it's S-I-L, but I don't know if... Yeah.
Silmarillion?
Yeah.
Sam I am? Will I am? I don't know. Willem Dafoe.
Florida Project. Not seen it yet. Wanted to watch it.
We're free flowing. That's what this is. By the way, it was really
Word
good.
Association. Yeah, I know. I'm really looking forward to it.
It was really good.
I can't wait.
I was blown away by it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm hopeful about the Lord of the Rings show. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll reserve judgment. I think the reason I'll reserve judgment is solely because I didn't particularly enjoy the Hobbit movies. I thought the second one was pretty good, actually. But
I'm in agreement. I think. Did you know? I think you speak to most people, will say that as well.
Yeah, and also I think the Lord of the Rings trilogy has been, and it might be controversial, has been so overplayed by ITV2 at this point that
it's not done Love Actually anyhow. Or Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, but the difference with Love Actually is you only need to show that for like a month a year. So
yeah, the rest of the time it's Skyfall, Hot Fuzz, Skyfall, Hot Fuzz, Skyfall, Hot Fuzz, Lord of the Rings.
And then for 2 weeks a year, Addams Family and Addams Family Values. It's never Addams Family the first one. It's just Addams Family Values.
Addams Family Values.
It's like the reverse of what they're available on DVD.
Do you remember when Tim Curry was in is it Addams Family Vacation?
Is that the third one?
Yeah, and it's like straight to TV, and it is terrible.
Daryl Hannah played Morticia.
Is Tish.
Yeah, that was bad.
Why?
I don't know why they do these things. It's like they want to hurt us.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Tim Curry in The Worst Witch?
No, I have not.
I'm going to show you something after.
I've seen Tim Curry in Criminal Minds, though.
And he's terrifying in that.
He genuinely is.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed Tim Curry never got to play the Joker in any form.
Oh, even like voice acting.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
Like when they did The Dark Knight Returns as an animated movie, I think it was a bit easy to go and get Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy to do it. Surely Tim Curry's the Joker.
Classics, aren't they? Classics.
Yeah. But alas, we must wrap up our podcast for the week. So I'm going to hand it over to you because I know you like doing the ending.
Here it is, your moment of cage.
My name's Roger. Sir, may I be of some help?
That's funny. My name's Roger. Two Rogers don't make a right. Roger, I have a problem.
Yes.
I've been in LA for 3 months now. I have money, I have taste. But I'm not on anybody's A-list, and Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week for me.
Well, a Ferrari would certainly change that.
Perhaps. But you know, this is the one. Yes. I saw 3 of these parked outside the local Starbucks this morning, which tells me only one thing. There's too many self-indulgent wieners in this city with too much bloody money. Now, if I was driving a 1967 275 GTB 4
You would not be a self-indulgent wiener, sir. You would be a connoisseur.
Precisely. Champagne would fall from the heavens, doors would open, velvet ropes would part.